Continuing my journey, I'm visiting Mallika Basu at South London.
Madhur ji, hello.
So nice
Welcome.
of you to have me.
Malika writes a website with recipes for fast, easy curries, and I want to see some of her tips. Malika grew up in Calcutta but moved to the United Kingdom to study for her master's degree and taught herself how to cook. Now she tries to balance her career with 2 children, Leah and Noah, but she still has a desire to cook authentic tasting Indian food for her family.
When the kids came along, then obviously it gets even more complicated. I mean, I don't know what I was doing with my time before they arrived. And then trying to find a way to fit cooking around having a family life and getting them involved in eating and enjoying food and cooking.
How do you get your Indian meals done?
So I don't want to compromise on the taste, but then I'm all for gadgets, pressure cookers, the right sorts of ready shortcuts. So tins and cans of the right things, fresh frozen vegetables where they don't make a difference to the taste. It's actually some really sensible things, like for instance, if you're going to cook Indian food, your hair is going to smell. So the best thing to do probably is to wear a shower cap while you're at it. Look how well the table has eaten. Food everywhere.
After the break, Mallika shows me some of her shortcuts that help her fit cooking authentic tasting Indian meals into her busy life. And I'll show you my recipe with my own shortcuts for a delicious Goan curry. Mallika Basu is from Calcutta in Bengal. Her young children are upstairs for an afternoon nap, so she grabs the opportunity to show me some Bengali recipes using her shortcuts.
So what I tend to do is once they've eaten and they're in bed, I'll just quickly get a whole meal going. And I like to cap myself at an hour of cooking because after that I can have a bit of a relax. I thought we'd do a very quick Bengali meal. Kosha mangsho. In Calcutta, obviously we do it with khashir mangsho, which is goat meat. This is where everything changes with me because I can't get myself to a butcher on a daily basis to get proper goat meat. One of the ways in which I make the cooking very easy and quick is by just having readily available ingredients that you don't have to do a special shop for. So I'm just going to use some supermarket lamb neck fillets.
But this is a very good idea.
So I'll just literally chop that up into, I tend to do slightly larger than bite-sized pieces. So 2 spoons of Greek yogurt.
Marinades are like a quick injection of flavor into the meat.
Shall I put something in?
Yes, please.
Mallika uses just spices, turmeric, cumin, coriander, salt and mustard oil. And the marinade does its work while you get on with other things.
So once we've got the meat marinating, we could maybe get the dal going.
Simple dals are eaten with nearly every meal in India.
So it's mung beans, which are split here, and then you add prawns.
Yes,
Lovely.
and maybe some peas as well for good measure.
So it's a complete meal.
Like a complete meal. And I use just frozen prawns and frozen peas as well. So that kind of cuts down.
That's one of your quick things.
That's one of my quick things, definitely. First thing we'll do is roast it on a medium flame. And you dry roast it before we wash it so that it doesn't stick when you're actually frying it. And we probably use just a cup.
All right. So this would be about 10 fluid ounces, I would guess.
Yeah.
So roasting changes the dal just slightly. You taste a little bit of charring of the grain.
Let's switch that off, and I'm just going to take it over to the sink and get it washed.
Once the lentils are clean, they are covered with fresh water and brought to the boil with turmeric, a bay leaf and green chilies.
So now that the dal is just going to cook and bubble away, in the meantime, I'll get the meat going. Now I'm going to use a pressure cooker, and it's one of those things that it's almost become a bit of a personal crusade because they're so economical and environmentally friendly. What I'm going to do is just put a bit of sugar in there. It caramelizes and it adds a lovely red color to the meat. I hate using store-bought garlic and ginger. It's just so weak. So I tend to chop them up in my hand blender and just freeze it. I'll just toss in literally the onion, the ginger, and the garlic.
Next, she adds the meat and the tomatoes, but instead of introducing the ingredients to the curry one at a time, Mallika puts them all into the pot raw with some chili powder and then she gives it all a quick brown.
What is the difference now between this shortcut meal as opposed to how you might do it if you were really doing it the old-fashioned way?
If I was doing it the old-fashioned way, it would be at least like well over an hour to cook the meat itself.
Mallika knows that this won't be quite as good as if she had browned everything slowly first, but it's quick. The lid seals and the pressure and temperature inside rise to cook it much quicker than in an open pan. The dal has boiled, and she'll make it extra special with some prawns and peas.
We've got ghee in there, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some whole garam masala in there.
As we know, browning takes time, so sugar is Mallika's shortcut to color. She just caramelizes it. She fries cinnamon, cumin, ginger and turmeric in the ghee for just a moment before adding defrosted prawns and peas. She cooks them fast and then adds them straight into the dal.
And then we just give it a nice...
Leah has now joined us back in the kitchen.
I'm going to open that.
Ooh, looks like a nice color.
So I'm just going to literally dry it off now. High flame, 5-10 minutes while the rice and everything's being done.
Now this is a bhuna dish. In other words, the meat is browned and doesn't have a thick sauce. It has hardly any sauce to it. Bhuna, the word means browning, and the browning process will dry it out.
Both children are awake and the meal is ready. They obviously eat curry a lot as they're very happy with Mallika's spices.
Do you want some rice or dal? You want dal?
I'm going to have some...
It tastes delicious. What do you think?
It may not be the sort of slow cooked, the way Indians do it, but it is an Indian meal and it tastes good.
It's perfect for other people like you
Fantastic.
who are
yeah.
coming home from work at 6:30 and then they have to prepare a whole meal. This way they can do it. So I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
It was really wonderful.